FERPA is the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act that was implemented in 1974. It does protect student information at secondary and post-secondary institutions from being released to parties that may not have an invested interest within that academic record. It really does just protect the student so they know that when they attend a higher institution that their information will not be released, it will not be shared with people that they may not want to have access to their academic record. Some examples of the educational record under FERPA is student personalized information, which would include mailing address, email address, home phone number, cell phone number, as well as the enrollment records of the student, grades of the student, and class schedules of the student. Macomb has established directory information under FERPA, and that information, as far as what we disclose, can be found on the internet. But some examples of that is if an employer were to call to verify that a student earned a degree, we could state the student's name, we could state the degree earned, and then the years attended at the college. There are some exemptions to parent access to student information. If the parent can provide legal documentation stating that they do claim the student on their taxes, we will then release that information to the parent at that point in time, or if the student is in any type of physical harm, we will release that information to the parent as well. The other exemptions that we do find is if we were to be presented with a subpoena for student records, as well as if college police needed accessibility to the student record because something was going on with the student at that point in time, we could release that information as well. The biggest FERPA violations that faculty should be aware of are disclosing the student information by way of posting grades publicly, by way of passing out tests publicly, leaving papers on your desk where students can come and look through them to find their own, because then that displays all students' grades. As well as if a student were to come visit you in your office and you have sensitive information up on your screen and data tell, you need to make sure that that is closed immediately. Also, most parents want to know how their student is doing in classes, and faculty members are not allowed to disclose that information to parents. Students should be aware of FERPA. Do they know what FERPA really is? Probably not. We do send disclosure statements to students via email at the beginning of every term that does disclose a lot of information to students. One of the links in there is FERPA and their rights as a student to enforce FERPA. If a student feels like an institution or a member of the institution has maybe disclosed their academic record to somebody, they can file a grievance against that institution. So I do believe that it is important for students to know what FERPA stands for, what their rights are as a student, and how to enforce those rights if they feel that they have been violated in some way with maintaining the integrity of their own academic record. They can always visit the Macomb website as well as the FERPA website to get the details of their rights as a student. Faculty can post grades in a correct way by assigning a unique identifier to a student that only the faculty member and the student would know. If they wanted to post grades publicly, possibly calling the student up one-on-one would definitely protect the academic integrity of the student record, as well as having students come to your office personally to give them their test or their grade. So it's on a one-on-one basis instead of on a public basis in front of the classroom setting. Another great way to protect the sensitivity of student information is by using the Angel online learning system. You can post grades on Angel, which would allow students to have a unique identifier to log in, which only would allow them access to their own record. I would just say that if you're hesitant about giving out student information, don't do it. If your gut is telling you not to do it, then go with that, because it's really important to protect the integrity of the student record. Sometimes faculty members want to accommodate parents, want to accommodate friends, want to accommodate family, and it's not in the best interest of the student, because we want our students to ensure that when they come to college that their rights are being protected. If a faculty member would like to know more information about FERPA, we do have a complete presentation on the intranet, which is all-inclusive, as well as has a quiz at the end to test your knowledge of the FERPA presentation.